So there's just been the solar eclipse on the 21st of September 2025, and it's a pretty important eclipse because it happens to be occurring opposite the Saturn-Neptune conjunction, which is one of the really key factors in making 2025 quite a crazy year. And, this eclipse is really highlighting that Saturn-Neptune conjunction, bringing it into sharp focus and amplifying it, not only for the day when the eclipse occurs, but arguably eclipses actually have an effect before they occur. So this eclipse has been kind of bringing this into focus for a while already and for many months to come after this eclipse. This Saturn-Neptune is going to be intensified. It's also worth noting that at the time of this eclipse, we have this Mars-Pluto square, which is a little bit ominous because that's a very aggressive energy. About 2 years ago, when last time Mars was 90 degrees behind Pluto, that was, I think, literally the 8th of October, 2023, literally the day after the attack by Hamas on Israel. Also, we have this trine of Uranus and Pluto, and its midpoint is basically the Saturn-Neptune conjunction, and it slots into this whole axis. So there's really quite a lot going on. I'm quite curious about Los Angeles, where this eclipse happens to be on the midheaven and on the MCIC axis. And so there could be some significant developments there. It's interesting to see that it's literally on the horizon on the eastern side of Australia. And in Ukraine, although these planets aren't angular there, it so happens that this axis, this opposition of the Sun and Moon to Saturn and Neptune, this axis is 90 degrees from the ascendant in Kiev. So that is another location that is worth watching. Now, in the coming months, there's going to be a number of transiting triggers to this eclipse. One of them is going to be round about the 12th of October, give or take maybe a day or two, when transiting Mars forms a semi-square to the eclipse point and a sesquiquadrate to the Saturn-Neptune conjunction. Then on the 5th of November, there's a full moon, and the Sun-Moon opposition also forms 45-degree multiple aspects to that axis. It so happens that on that day, Mars is also opposite Uranus in the heavens, and that adds a further element of volatile unpredictability to that time. Then round about the 13th of December, again, give or take a day or two, transiting Mars squares the eclipse point and squares the Saturn-Neptune conjunction at the time of the eclipse. And so, yeah, that could be another short-term sort of trigger to the eclipse. Then around about the 23rd of January, and actually for a few days before, and maybe a bit after, we have this very interesting sort of lineup here of the Sun, Mars, and Pluto that in itself is quite notable, but it occurs pretty close to where Pluto was at the time of the eclipse and squares Mars, so it's activating that Mars-Pluto square in the eclipse chart. Then around about the 9th of February 2026, we have Mars sesquiquadrate the eclipse point, semi-square the Saturn-Neptune conjunction. Then around about 9th of April 2026, we have Mars reaching a conjunction of Saturn and Neptune opposite the eclipse point, or opposite the Sun and Moon. And in the days thereafter, Mars is going to be conjunct Neptune and Saturn, so that time is also one to watch. Then on the 19th of May, again, give or take a day or two, Mars is moved 180 degrees from its position at the time of the eclipse and activates that square. So this is a list of some of the key dates to watch in the coming months when we might see this eclipse being activated. And some of the locations I mentioned earlier are worth watching because they could easily be triggered into, or there could be events in those locations. The impact of the eclipse on those places could manifest, the latent energy at these times.